All right, so we're gonna talk about protecting the forks. And one thing I'm putting on are these protective coating. It's like a heat shrink. They call them the fork shrink. This is coming from the UK, and I've been curious about trying them out. It's a thicker material than I expected, which is awesome. And I think it is gonna I think it's gonna give you some good protection. I mean, honestly, I think it just makes your bike look really sweet with black forks. Totally factory looking. So we're gonna put these on, protect from any dings and damage that we get from rocks. And yeah, we'll see how the process goes of installing. All right, here we are with my 2019 50XC. So to get the fork shrink tubes on, we have to remove the front wheel and pull them out of the triple clamps. At this point, you should note how many lines you've got. I've got 2 on mine right now, so you know when you put it back in. So I'm trying to decide if I want to take these stickers off or not. I think you can put the shrink wrap over it. I think it might show up a little bit around the seams of it, so I think it'd be cleaner if I can take it off. And because these forks are brand new, it should be pretty easy to peel off. Maybe, I'm not sure, I might use the heat gun. Kind of just using the heat gun as like a stationary tool. I'm just sort of heating it up as I go. And that seemed to help. A little bit of gluey residue on that side. This side was pretty clean though. Looks like it just rubs right off though because of the texture on the fork. It's pretty cool. Just rubbing right off. It's nice and clean now. I think that'll be a lot better than having the sticker on there. Now you just slide the fork shrink on. A little tight. So I put these little marks to see where my triple clamps were. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna run it like that. I'm just gonna take my heat gun and kind of work my way around. Ah, it's slowly forming. It's pretty cool looking. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just taking the shape. Looking good. Well, that was easy. All you need is a heat gun. We got some good protection. So I got the line there, Should be good. Perfect. So now I'll just do the same thing. Just make sure I got this lined up. All right, let's see how these go on. Plenty of clearance there. Oh, a little tight there. I'm gonna have to loosen that up. This should be interesting. Yeah, that's pretty tight. All right, guys, we're back. So I couldn't find the instructions on the Forkshrink website because something about the UK not showing stuff in the US, but I emailed the guys, they're good guys. They let me know that the bottom half is you melt it on, but the top half doesn't have the adhesive on it. So you just slide that on, and that's why I tried to slide it on and get it up in there, but the tolerance is too fine on the triple clamps. So I'm just gonna pull the fork shrink off. We're gonna slide this in there, and then we'll slide the fork shrink on top of that, and then fit it up in there. That makes a lot more sense. So now I'm just gonna get it set up to my how I had it before at two lines. Check on this side if you just do them one at a time. It's like slightly over 2. And I'll just tighten these up. Looking pretty sweet. So what I noticed is when I started getting the goopy stuff, when I was pulling it off, I would stop and I would just heat it up with the heat gun. It would come off a lot cleaner. And now even to rub it off, I'll just heat it up a little bit with the heat gun, and it just makes it come off, you know, quite a bit easier. So this side I didn't heat it up, I just slid it over, and it's a bit loose of a fit. So I think I'm gonna heat it up just like I did the first one, and then that kind of forms it around the fork, and then you slide it off. There's no glue on it, so it'll still slide off, but it'll melt and kind of conform to the shape of the fork better. Melting and pushing up. So now even though I've shrunk it onto the tube, I can still pull it off because there's no adhesive in there. Now I'll just line up my fork tube. And I got 2 notches there. So I think that looks pretty sweet. Definitely liking the look of it. Just feel nice and sturdy, more protective than the stock ones. And you got that protection up there, which is really sweet. Next up was we got the ProTech full wrap fork guards. Keep going back and forth whether I want to put the black or the orange on. Yeah, I still got to get all my new plastics on. You guys know what color I'm going with? It's gonna be sweet. Well, I just noticed something else that's different on the 19 is that these stoppers are welded in. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's just like a shank of metal kind of machined in, and it's welded. So Tracy Long is not gonna like that. For the kind of trialsy rider guys that are doing really sharp turns, pivot turns, and you know, just hopping around on rocks and doing kind of gnarly stuff like that, they take these bolts out so that you can turn the bars really far, and that just improves your turning. You can lock the bars better when you're just balanced. But you know, it's a little bit sketchier at higher speed stuff. Normal single track riding, you probably want to put the bolts back in, just in case your bars turn on a rut and they don't buck too far, you know. But I take them out if I'm gonna just go putt around and do trial stuff. With like when I was in Idaho with Tracy, I took them out and put them back in the next day when I went and rode with Brickford Honda in Montana. So you know, it just kind of depends on the conditions. But now I'm seeing that that's not going to allow you to do that because of that. Tracy might have to take a grinder to his bike. Let me know what you guys think of these fork protectors. I'm pretty stoked on them. I'm hoping to carry them in the shop. They're from the UK, so if I can order them in bulk, I can cut down on the shipping costs for you guys. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the build series. Thanks, guys.